Probably a lot.
A lot.
Definitely double digits.
Too many times to count.
100+ times.
That's a good question.
Multiple times every time I go skateboarding, every day.
Probably like 50 times.
I don't know.
Oh man, more than I can count.
100 times.
Every day that I did it.
The skateboarders love their sport.
Oh, just a few times in the most unpleasant way possible.
People have a number for that?
A lot. A bunch.
Like 20 times?
A few times. People aren't really nice about stuff like that.
Probably like 5 around there.
That's it?
Yeah.
5? Unfortunately, been skating that center of town for too many years.
In front of businesses, publicly owned businesses, like Dunkin', for example.
Around Walgreens.
Wherever, business owners hate it. They really do.
Around East Longmeadow Center.
Usually I skate the center of town in the parking lot.
A few blocks over is Heritage and City Hall.
Right in the center of town. It used to be Shawmut Bank, but it's Walgreens now.
We've been there for countless years. I usually skate in my backyard or at the center of town, sadly. No, I do not like it.
I don't even want to go there anymore. It's awful.
Those are horrible places to skate.
Around East Longmeadow in Northampton, I normally skate.
Usually skateboard around East Longmeadow, but I don't really go anywhere else.
It gets old pretty quick. Unpleasant.
It's a terrible place to skateboard.
In about 2000, they had built a park in Pine Knoll, thinking that that would get us off of the streets and out of the center of town. But they were charging us $2 if you were a resident and $5 if you weren't a resident for every day that you were there. So if you were a younger kid, you didn't have a job, you didn't have a car, you didn't have anything, you couldn't pay for it. So you weren't allowed to be there. So where would you end up? Straight back in the center of town.
I've been skateboarding for about 2 years.
I started skateboarding 3 years ago.
I had skated for about 6 years.
About 3 years.
I started skating when I was about 10, so like 24 years ago.
Like 6 years now.
You start to feel the effects after a long amount of time.
We get kicked out, we get the cops called on us. We get labeled as these kids that hang around and want to cause trouble, but really we just want to skate.
Nothing has ever changed, and they've never done anything to make it change.
After we got kicked out of like 5 spots, it's like, oh, now the day of skating's over.
Skating 21 years ago, and the cops are still harassing the kids, just like it was the next day.
It sucks.
Most definitely.
Skateboard park in our town would affect it in many ways.
Everybody would benefit from a public skate park. I mean, not only the skateboarders, but the people in town that waste their time and effort to keep us out.
Community skate park is a great idea.
It would give us all a place to skateboard.
Keep kids out of people's hair.
And get all the kids and everybody off the parking lots of public places.
Skate park in the town of East Longmeadow would have a huge positive impact.
A skate park could affect our town in a positive way because there wouldn't be people sitting around the town and the cops wouldn't have to deal with it. And pretty much just so we all could have a place to go, all the skaters could have a place to go, so no one has to deal with any trouble.
Oh, it'd be really positive.
I think it'd be a positive thing.
I think it'd do a lot of good for the town. I think it would keep kids from in front of people's stores and just prevent a lot of loitering.
It would give them something better to do. There wouldn't be, things that they could get themselves hurt on if they're in a place that's designed for them to do that.
It's like having a baseball field for kids who like to play baseball.
So that'd be great for us to have a place we could go and skateboard.
We have baseball fields, we have football fields, we have pools, we have soccer fields. Giving the kids the ability to do their sport in a specific location would cut down on, calls for police services.
I think it would be beneficial for everybody involved.
We could definitely benefit from a public skate park because we wouldn't be kicked out of the public places and we'd actually have a place to skate where we'd be allowed to skate around.
I think that having a place for kids to go do their sport is a great thing.
I think skate parks are a positive contribution to society and communities because they show kids growing up who want to skateboard that the community cares about them by investing money in their future, giving them something to do besides run around in the road, get chased by folks, and maybe run over by cars, things like that.
This skate park has impacted my city in a large way. It's brought lots of kids from different communities to come together and skate, and I think that's wonderful. Now that Holyoke has, some place, in their not so good areas where good people go to, it makes those not so good areas good,
To come here, avoid drugs, skate, have a good time.
Look at the community that we've developed here just today. Everybody's friends, everybody's skating together and just talking and hanging out, and nobody's giving anybody a hard time, and none of us are out skateboarding in the street and running down the road, so that's good.
Before this, I was skating the streets of Holyoke, getting kicked out, left and right.
You're not supposed to do it everywhere because people just don't like you running around with cars and things getting in the way and knocking each other down the stairs and grinding the curbs and stuff. But here you can do all that stuff. It's encouraged. So
You always skate, get kicked out of places. So it's just it helps now having somewhere to come to actually skate, hang out, not get kicked out by cops.
Kids at East Longmeadow skate, and it'll just be a good thing for them to have a place to go and be safe while they're skating. It's that simple.
We're all here to skate, have fun, respect each other, and just work with each other, learn new tricks, have fun.
If you're on public property, the cops can't tell you to leave.
And no scooters, probably.